In the heart of the kingdom of Wagadu, where gold flowed like rivers and the drums of prosperity thundered, sat Obanla the king. His court was a palace of bronze pillars and lion-carved thrones, a place where voices rose like storms and decrees fell like lightning. Yet for all his wealth and power, Obanla's spirit was troubled. For in the dark corners of his palace, whispers curled like smoke. The Mask of Olofin had been lost. The mask was no ordinary relic. Forged in the time of the gods, it was said to hold the fury of storms, the voice of thunder, and the command of rivers. With it, kingdoms rose. Without it, kingdoms crumbled. On the day of decision, the drums fell silent. Obanla stood before his court, his voice echoing like a lion's roar. The mask must be found, for without it, Wagadu is but dust in the wind. Let the chosen step forward, for destiny has summoned her. All eyes turned as the king's staff pointed, not at a warrior clad in iron, but at a young woman with braided hair and a satchel at her side. Her name was Kayin, daughter of no great house, but whose dreams had been filled with storms and visions of gods. The court gasped. The king had spoken. Kayin bowed, though her heart quaked. She knew, as all griots know, that destiny rarely calls upon the willing. Yet Obanla did not send her alone. At dawn, 6 warriors were gathered to stand beside her, forming the company of 7. Sango, the Thunderer, a giant with a club said to spark lightning when swung. Irdi, the Huntress, her bow curved like the crescent moon, and her eyes sharper than any arrow. Jammu, the Skeptic, a spearman whose tongue was as quick as his thrusts. Bako, the Youth, the smallest among them but with eyes that saw what others missed. Duro, the shield-bearer, his arms scarred by 100 battles, his round shield heavy as stone. Amari, the Silent, a dagger-wielder who spoke little, his movements flowing like water in shadow. With Kayin, they became 7, the sacred number whispered of in prophecies. At sunrise they departed, their figures outlined against the blazing savanna. Vultures circled above as if foreshadowing the trials ahead. Behind them, Wagadu gleamed in gold. Before them, the world grew dark with mystery. The savanna rolled into thickets, the thickets into trees, and soon the 7 stood before the forest of echoes. It was a place feared by even the bravest hunters. The air inside was damp and heavy, as though the forest itself breathed. As they entered, shadows twisted, roots coiled like serpents, and mist licked at their ankles. Birds did not sing here, only the echo of their own footsteps followed them. By nightfall, they built a fire. Flames danced, yet the forest did not retreat. Kayin's eyes grew heavy and visions claimed her. She saw Olofin, the storm god, vast and terrible with the mask upon his face. His eyes burned with lightning, his laughter split the skies, and rivers turned to blood beneath his feet. She woke with a cry, the fire nearly dying. The others stared at her. It was only a dream, Jammu muttered, but his eyes betrayed unease. The next day, the forest tested them. Voices rose from the shadows, soft at first, then louder, until they became shouts of anger, cries of despair, laughter of the mad. The warriors lifted their weapons, but no foe appeared. Instead, from the mist stepped 7 figures, mirroring them, guardians cloaked in spirit light. Each guardian bore the face of one traveler, yet their eyes glowed with ancient fire. The foremost guardian spoke, its voice both thunder and whisper. 7 set forth, 7 will be tested, but beware, not all who walk with you walk in truth. A betrayer sits among you. The forest trembled, the fire sputtered. Kayin's heart froze. Around the circle, glances sharpened like blades. From that moment, mistrust planted its roots. The deeper they pressed into the forest, the heavier the air grew, until they came to a clearing where a colossal Iroko tree stretched into the sky. At its roots sat a calabash, glowing faintly, resting in a pool of water that reflected no stars. Kayin felt the pull of it. The mask's power throbbed through the earth. Yet as she stepped forward, a voice boomed from the branches. Only those who drink from the calabash of truth may pass. But beware, truth is a double-edged blade. One by one they drank. Sango drank and the calabash spoke. You fear not battle but obscurity, that your name will be forgotten. Iardi drank. You hunt beasts but your arrows seek vengeance for a brother slain. Jammu drank. You speak of doubt, yet envy burns hotter in you than any faith. Bako drank. You pretend to courage but long to run back to your mother's arms. Duro drank. Your shield guards others, yet you fear dying unguarded. Amari drank. Silence is your veil, but it hides not grief, only guilt. When Kayin drank last, the calabash thundered. You are chosen, yet choice is a chain. Will you break it or wear it until death? The pool went still. The air shook with silence. When they walked on, the warriors no longer looked at each other the same. Truth had carved rifts where unity once stood. Beyond the Iroko tree, the forest gave way to a river that glowed like molten silver. It was wide, restless, and filled with whispers. Faces rose in the waters, faces of ancestors, their eyes deep with sorrow. A spirit rose, tall as a tree, its body formed of mist and water. To cross, one must be left behind. The river takes what it is owed. The seven stood frozen. The river's voice was law. Jammu sneered, a trick we will all cross. He stepped forward, spear raised, but the river surged, swallowing him whole. His scream echoed, then ceased. The surface closed as if nothing had happened. The six left stared in horror. Kayin's heart cracked, but the lesson was carved in blood. The river would take what it demanded. They built a raft of branches bound by vines. As they drifted across, the ancestors' faces followed them, whispering names, secrets, regrets. Bako covered his ears. Iardi wept openly. When at last they stepped on the far shore, they were six. The griot's voice would later say, "The river never lies, it only collects." The air grew colder. The trees withered into bone-white husks. Ahead, a cave gaped like the mouth of the earth itself. From within came the sound of scales sliding over stone, of breath that hissed like fire through wet grass. The warriors lit torches and entered. The cave swallowed their light. Then it appeared, a serpent vast as a river, its scales black as night, its eyes burning with an unnatural flame. This was no beast of earth, but a creature born of shadow and oath, the guardian of the mask. The serpent coiled, its body circling them like a living wall. Its voice slithered into their skulls. Children of Wagadu, you seek what cannot be born. The mask is hunger. The mask is ruin. Lay down your quest or be consumed. Sango roared, swinging his thunder club. Lightning split the cavern, striking the serpent's scales, but the beast only laughed, a sound like boulders breaking. The battle raged. Arrows shattered against stone hide. Spears cracked. The serpent's coils crushed Duro's shield, snapping wood and bone alike. Kayin screamed as Amari slashed at the serpent's eye, drawing black ichor that burned the ground. At last, Kayin raised her hands. The vision of Olofin surged through her veins. Words she did not know spilled from her lips, old as the earth, and the serpent recoiled, hissing, its body trembling with pain. It fled deeper into the cave, vanishing into the dark. The six remained, broken but alive. The mask lay deeper still, its power waiting. And the griot leans forward now, eyes reflecting the fire, whispering. But children, remember the guardian's warning. A betrayer walks among them. The serpent is not the only shadow that follows their path.